Hey, Facebook, how y'all doing out there? Exclusives with Dionna in the building. And I want to thank my sponsors right now. I'm thanking my sponsors, Mr. Warren Harding, A Child of This Culture, Jackson Elite Tax Services, Courtesy Auto Service, Mr. Larry Benford, 26th and Welton. Go down and see him. Jackson Elite Tax Services, Danielle Jackson. She'll take care of you. Jackpack Logistics, a moving service that's honest. They won't steal your stuff. You should call them. Look them up on Facebook. Look them up. You could Google them and Google their background. Mr. James Harvey, real estate agent. And I want to thank Star Girls and Struggle of Love Foundation. And today, my guest is Miss Ann White, a pillar in the community. I'm going to bring her on so she could tell you what she has going on in Montbello. Hey.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Just working away from putting back supplies in backpacks. We did over 800 today, so
yeah,
and probably got another 500 to do for my upcoming 8th annual Health, Wellness, and Back to School event.
Yes,
it's health and wellness and back to school backpack giveaway event. It's going to be August 10th from 11 to 3 at Lincoln Tech. Off of 1194 East 45th Avenue in Montbello, 80239. So we're asking everyone to come out, have lots of fun, free food. We have prize giveaways, and we also have entertainment, and you're going to be our MC for that event. I'm excited about that.
Yes, I am. I'm excited too. I mean, we have a lot going on in Montbello that day, and I'm glad because I'm like our community is finally getting some attention.
Yes,
needed
for
attention.
Sure. Yes, we are, and I just think the more events we host and the positive images that come from that, it can just only make us better and stronger in Montbello. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, really looking forward to the event. This actually grew out of a need in the community. Montbello 2020 has been around since 2019. It was started under, then it was Councilman Hancock. And now Councilwoman Gilmore, at that time, she was the executive director of ELK, Environmental Learning for Kids. And of course, I was still working at the state of Colorado, but being in the community and doing workforce, I was involved in it. So after the two of them decided to run for a political office, they asked me if I would take over 2020. And we always had a vision to become a 501c3. So after that, I was able to work with them with the help of those two and many others in the community for us to become a 501c3. And we've just grown since then, doing so many things. Not only do we do this annual event at the second week of August, but we also do bi-monthly community meetings at the DPD Police Community Room to inform, educate, and empower our community about issues that are facing us and individuals in our community. So we do quite a bit, and that's working with other organizations and partnering with our council representatives and bringing in outside resources to help us, along with healthcare, because there's health inequity in our neighborhood, in our community, and it's especially hard for our seniors and for families who have children with disabilities to be able to maneuver the system and to be able to get around. I mean, you have to do accessorize, you have to go outside the community. So working on the healthcare issue, and that's why the health piece is included in this event that I do annually. And we partner with Denver Health, Inner City Health, and also public health in order to bring healthcare resources into our communities for folks to be able to get COVID shots. All the services are free. We charge for nothing. I believe in social responsibility, and I think businesses and those of us who reside in the city and county of Denver, excuse me, we have an obligation to give back. So that's the premise for this event.
Okay. And tell us about Montbello 2020.
Um, Montbello 2020, as I said, we are a nonprofit. We're a 501c3, but we're also a registered neighborhood organization, which means that we are governed under the city charter in the city and county of Denver.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how we operate. And it has grown, excuse me, the image of Montbello and other organizations out here, we're finally getting recognition. I think that we so truly deserve, always have. People are beginning to see that we are vibrant, we care about each other, we have events, we support each other at our events, and we're able to work with and partner with businesses in and outside of Montbello to actually bring services in. And I think, I know it has been a positive experience. I was at an event on Saturday, and couple of people that I had worked with, and when I was at the state, were at this event, and they were talking about how Montbello has grown and we're so vibrant. They say, "You guys have something going on in Montbello all the time."
All the time.
Yes, we do. I said, "Yes, we."
We do.
I said, and we're going to keep on as we grow. I said, and I said with the immigrants and with the homeless population and everything, I said healthcare is critical.
Mm-hmm.
Also, for those individuals to be able to come in, get an examination, get a COVID shot. Parents can bring their children in and get the vaccinations for school at no charge. We don't ask for ID or anything. The services are there to be provided to the community and to help keep our communities safe and healthy.
Uh-huh.
Everybody knows the devastation of COVID, and it's rearing its ugly head again. And now we've had an outbreak of measles in our schools and chicken pox. And so we just need to make sure that we take care of our children and we take care of each other, and especially our seniors who are very vulnerable to these diseases that are going around.
Right,
And to
right.
get a health check, Denver Health has a van that comes out here, and they'll be there. They can schedule an appointment for an individual right there and let them know the day of the van is going to be out here in Montbello so that they can do that. And we pushed hard for that. And so they're actually going to be doing that, which will make it a lot easier for seniors and families who have children with disabilities or individuals, even some of our veterans, you
Uh-huh.
know, able to come and sign up and be able to get health care.
Yes, and that is so great. Also, you have a meeting, and I just want to bring the meeting up. I heard you kind of touch on it just a little bit, but I think
Yes,
my Montbello residents need to know about this meeting that you have at the community resource area
center.
in the police station. Um,
Yes, yes.
mhm.
We just did one July the 11th. And at those meetings, we invite outside resources based on some of the issues and challenges we have in our community. And it's not always easy for us to get what we truly deserve. And so my meetings, the meetings from Montbello 2020 are set up to provide those resources and bring them in where the community can meet in one place. They can be able to listen and hear, ask questions, and get answers to their questions. Find out what's going on in our community and what's coming up in our community, and who they can reach out to in order to get information.
Right, right.
The
Good.
last one we had, Alba Wedgeworth was there, and
Mm-hmm.
she talked about tobacco-free kids. And it was amazing at that meeting that the
Mm-hmm.
individuals who had no idea that our children were being targeted,
Right.
even, by commercials and other things that were going on. I mean, some parents are, I had no idea. And since that meeting, it has really jump started some things. People are talking about it now.
Mm-hmm.
People are meeting and they're saying,
Mm-hmm.
you know what, we must do something about this.
Right.
And
Right.
that's the purpose of the meeting, to inform, educate, and empower our community so they'll know where those resources are, know what's going on, and be aware of, what your children are watching, where they're going, and what they're doing.
Right.
A lot of parents are, at that point, and I was surprised and shocked myself that many people had no idea about how this community and other minority communities of color are being targeted
Right.
by this industry.
Right. All you have to do is watch the commercials, and the commercials show you. And then um, I'm just going to say it, the flavors in each one of those cartridges really target us because we like the red colored flavors. We like the strawberry, you know, we like the grape. We like those flavors. And so those are the flavors that they're mostly putting in these pins.
Yes, yes, and it came out in at the meeting with Miss Wedgeworth that
Mm-hmm.
SpongeBob was
Yeah.
one of the characters that was being used to
Mm-hmm.
actually push those flavored cigarettes and so
Mm-hmm.
forth and so on. And I mean, it is almost like we're going backwards because I mean, for years we have known adults were being targeted,
Mm-hmm.
with tobacco. But now, I think was a wake up call when people heard that, and that
Right.
meeting was huge. A lot of people turned out for that meeting,
Mm-hmm.
and I even got emails after that was like, "Thank you so much for getting that information out there. We had no idea."
Right.
And I said, that's the purpose for those meetings. And at our meetings, we also always invite our council representatives, Council District 8 and 11, for them to provide an update to the residents on what's going on and what they're working on and what city council is doing and any kind of bills that they're trying to pass.
Right.
And I remember the one we had in June when the project off of Andrews, that vacant property across from the school up there.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, they had been working on that for so long, and we were able to bring those individuals in Dale West in to talk about that property. And
Mm-hmm.
once people were startled to know that the original plan that was going to go over the building that was going to go up there, they had changed the whole plan. No longer were they going to do that. They were talking about building these townhomes
Mm.
that no one out here could afford. I mean, that was another time when people were in shock, like, who are you building those for? Because you didn't build them for us.
Right. Right. When you told me about that, I thought, what? And I kept looking at that property because it's fenced in. And I was wondering, why is it still fenced in and nothing's going on?
Yeah, and so they were supposed to have gotten back to me and to Councilwoman Gilmore. Neither
Mm-hmm.
one of us have heard back from them. So my intent is to invite them back again for
Mm-hmm.
them to see, uh, get an update to see where they are because we posed a lot of questions to them and they were supposed to answer those questions and get back.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing about me, you tell me you're gonna do something, I'm on your trail. I'm
I
on
can,
your
I
trail.
second that. Yes, she does.
I want I want my questions answered, and how dare you ignore our community, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
but I was very proud when Councilwoman Gilmore said, "You do know, no matter what you guys try to do, you're gonna have to bring it to City Council." So
Right.
That, I was
Right.
so happy to hear her say that.
Yes.
And so again, going to be reaching out to Del West again and see what they're working on. And they said that they had finally got an okay for Excel. But
Mm-hmm.
what I don't want to happen is for them to get this project started, because kind of once the ball starts rolling
Mm-hmm.
downhill, it's hard to stop.
Right.
So I need to know what the process is and where they are now before they start doing any digging or push this any further.
Right. Right. Because I found out that we'll be told something as a community, and so
Yes.
we're expecting what they said, and then you'll turn around and it's something completely different than what was brought up at any community meeting.
And that's exactly what happened with this, because before, in the what's the interesting part about that is the plan they presented to us, COVID hit.
Uh-huh.
That plan went to Park Hill, and they built what we were supposed to have in Park Hill. And every time I mean, I didn't wait. I was following up off and on with them to say, what's going on? And say, oh, we're waiting for the plat, the city's behind and this and that and the other. I said, well, okay, okay. I kept hearing that. So I finally said to Dylan, I said, I realize the city's behind, but you need to come to Montbello and tell us what's going on with that
Right.
project. And
Right.
when I saw the picture, I looked at it and I looked over at the councilwoman and I looked over and I was just like, this is not what you guys presented to us. So where did this come from?
Mm-hmm.
So they
Mm-hmm.
had changed the whole plan. Had we not just stayed on it and asked, they would have, been pushing forward with this. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I
Right.
try to encourage our community, our neighborhoods to, you need to know what's going on. You need to attend the meetings. You need to stay in tune with your
Right.
community. If you see something that's not quite right, that's why we have council representatives.
Right.
You need to call somebody and say, what's going on here?
Right.
And so it was just very interesting and shocking, and was funny because that's the same day we had the people from United Airlines was there the day that they presented, and they talked about their program and the jobs and their community involvement, with community and supporting, community.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just, even they afterwards, they were just like, wow.
Yeah.
They said, I'm glad somebody asked the question, who are you going to be building this for? Because you're sure
Right.
not building for anybody out here.
Right. And that's one reason I was telling a city representative that the community doesn't trust them because they'll tell us one thing and then totally do something else.
Exactly, exactly. But we need to all take accountability in our community when we see things, rather than getting on the telephone,
Mhm.
talking to your friend, your neighbor, and complaining about that. If you're going to call somebody, you need to pick up and you need to call your council representative. You
Call
know, Mont-
somebody that can do something about it.
exactly. Montbello is split between District 8 and District 11, and that
Mhm.
came about just because of the growth out here. And the city charter states that you can only have so many residents in one area. So
Mhm.
we're kind of at a disadvantage because we are split.
Mhm.
When we had one council person, you knew who exactly to go to.
Right.
Not everybody even know what council district they're in.
Right.
That's even confusing. Every time I have a meeting, somebody will ask me, "Do you know what council district I'm in?"
Right.
And so, it's just interesting, and it's very confusing for us to have two different council representatives. And,
Mhm.
everybody is not always on the same page. It depends on your council district and who's actually working for you, how hard they're working for you, and whether they truly, truly, care
Right.
about what's going on, and whether they even get back with you,
Yeah.
even if you called. So
Mhm.
that is. a pressing issue too, and just trying to get folks engaged, and particularly with the election coming up here in November, you
Gosh.
know, asking people to please register so you can vote. Don't become complacent.
Right.
And getting back to my event, clerk and recorder's office is actually going to be at the event. So folks who are not registered, they can actually, I ask them to bring information. So if they want to register, they can register there at my event. I think
Good.
that's critical and very important for folks to understand and know that, that we have Montbello and Green Valley Ranch, we have one of the lowest voter turnouts. We really do.
Wow.
And it's
That's
shortchanged just because of that fact.
that's terrible. And
It is.
most people don't even realize that we have the lowest turnout.
Yeah, and I tell folks that all the time. I said, you guys really need to register to vote because we have one of the lowest turnouts. I said, and you talk about other communities that get what they want. I said, don't you know? I said, that's part of public record. People look at that. I said, and sometimes that's why we're taken for granted. Like when developers come into our neighborhoods and they
Wow.
want, well, they figure they can just go, well, we can go ahead and do what we want because they're not going to say
They're
anything
not
because
gonna
they're
see
not
it.
engaged.
Wow. And you have to be engaged. And there's a lot of times where you're not going to like what's said, you're not going to agree with it, but
Exactly.
at least you know what's going on, and at least you can voice your opinion. I always
Yeah,
tell people, don't complain if you're not going to do anything about it.
exactly.
Don't
Exactly.
complain.
I tell them the same thing when they call me and complain. So now my first question, are you registered to vote? And they say no. I said, well, why are you calling me? Because there's nothing I can do.
Mhm.
You care that much about the issue. And I said, it's
Mhm.
not, and I always tell folks, it's not just
Mhm.
about you. It's about an entire community. It's
Right.
about those folks who fought and died for the right for us to be able to vote.
Right.
And I said, and so many of them, I said, suffered and everything. And I said they wanted us to have a better life. But they did it by, I said, dogs were sick on them. I know I grew up in the South and
Mhm.
I saw that happen. I remember my great grandmother trying to go register, and they would say, "How many bubbles in a bar?" So that's the kind of stuff that they would do and pull, just to
Yeah.
keep you from voting, getting registered so you can vote. They
Right.
made it very hard, but they did not let that deter them from doing what they knew they needed to do in
Right.
order for not just us African Americans, but for all people to
Right.
have the right to vote.
Right.
In our household, two things my kids knew they had to do. My husband was military, so the boys, when they turned 18, they had to register for selective service, which you never hear about anymore.
Mhm. Right.
But and then the girls, they had to register so they could vote. And we used to go vote as a family at a mess elementary that was
Mhm.
the first precinct when we moved out here.
Right.
And we go over there, and when they turned 18, and it was so funny, the people got to know us, and when we would show up, they said, "Oh, here comes the White House." They got one added on today.
Right.
They
And
knew they had to register and vote in. So it was very important. My husband been in the military, and my
right.
background where I came from, that was a must.
Right, right. And to all my Montbello warriors who support and watch me, this is Mason White's mother, you guys. And so we should support her in every way, shape, and form that we can. But I just want to let you guys know that's who mama that is, y'all.
Yeah, my baby was coming in town here too to help me with my event.
I'm so glad. And then, I was talking to a young lady, and she lives in your area, in your neck of the woods, and
Uh-huh.
she didn't know who her councilwoman was or council person. So
Uh-huh.
I had to tell her that, and this was just last Saturday, because
Yeah.
she said, "I'm totally confused. I don't know what's going on." And because I come to some of your meetings and things like that, then I was able to know because I was informed at the meeting, and you
Yes.
informed me of who was, Stacy Gilmore is this side of Peoria, and you had told me exactly what sides or what the boundaries were.
Boundary lines
Uh-huh.
are, yeah.
Can you tell everyone what the boundary lines are?
Okay, if you District 8 consists of Central Park, Park Hill, East Colfax area, parts of Montbello. So when you get into Montbello, where the Erie Taylor building is, I would say specifically that kind of starts the part of Montbello.
I'm
It
Peoria.
runs to Uvalde. Uvalde is the dividing line. Anything west of Uvalde is District 8. Anything east of Uvalde is District 11, which includes Denver International Airport. And that's Councilwoman Stacey Gilmore's. The District 8 is Councilwoman Chantel Lewis.
Hmm. And see, and that's still kind of weird and confusing
It is,
because
because
now,
it zigzags around, so
yeah,
you could still
this,
think that you're in District 8 and but you're in District 11. There,
mhm,
there is a map, but even I'm not a person that can really read a
mhm,
map. I know my street on there when I see it. But
mhm,
if and that's why I'm working on trying to get a map that
mhm,
we can put up someplace where people can actually recognize and know where the boundary line is and
mhm.
which district they are in.
Right.
Because it's very confusing, especially for our
Mhm.
seniors and just individuals. Period. I mean,
Right.
even some like our high school kids don't know. I had about 15 volunteers at my house today.
Hmm.
We were stuffing backpacks,
Hmm.
and the conversation even came up about the council district. So one of the young guys from ELF asked me, they said, "So Miss Ann, what district are you in?" I said, "Well, actually, I'm in District 8." I said, "Before the most recent redistricting that happened, I said I was actually in District 11, but
Hmm.
it shifted." I said, "So now I'm in District 8."
Wow. And see, and when the way you described it with Uvalde, so to me, I'm picturing Uvalde to Chambers or
Mhm.
Uvalde to,
Uvalde all the way to Green Valley, past Green Valley, all of that is District 11,
mhm,
which it is one of the largest districts
mhm,
because it includes everything that's going on out there at Denver International Airport,
mhm,
cross chambers, and all the housing, all the buildings, all of that new development is going up off
mhm.
of 6 going past Piccadilly and
Yeah.
all of that.
Yeah. In
Yeah,
between, yeah, between Piccadilly and the airport.
yes,
All of
yes.
that right there. And then I see a development happening right now between Piccadilly and the airport. And I'm thinking, what is that? Are they building warehouses right there? What are they doing? And,
Actually, some of that land out there is actually going to be the new United Airlines flight center. And
oh, okay.
out there, the one on Quebec will still be there for
Mm-hmm.
United,
Mm-hmm.
but just because of technology and that building, it was more cost effective for them to build a new one out at to a DIA and have room to expand as technology changes. So that's one of the things that's going out there.
Mm-hmm.
There is going to be a new housing development. There's going to be a couple of schools. I
Mm-hmm.
understand going to be going out there. There,
I see the school being built right now.
yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're also looking at trying to build a health, some kind of health center,
Mm-hmm.
which great, because this one that's off of Albrook over here, they have the land, but it's still even for them to build that unless they went up with that property, it would still not accommodate the people in Montbello with the
Right.
numbers we have now.
Right, because that building is way too small. And then I
Yes,
keep hearing rumors about Elitch's being built out there by the
Yeah, they're
resort.
talking about moving Elitch's out toward the
Resort.
airport.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Swire Coca-Cola, Pepsi Cola. There are just so many. They're calling it the new Airtropolis
Yeah.
out there because I mean everything is moving that way.
Toward the airport. Everything.
Yes, yes, it is. And
Mm-hmm.
because of that, even though we're in Montbello, if you stop to think about it, um, other than the new development out there, we're probably the Montbello communities closest to the airport.
Right.
And that's another reason why people are coming out here trying to buy the property out here because they know once that development goes out there, it's going to be, you know, off the
Mm-hmm.
chart.
Off the charts. Yep.
Yeah. You
I know
won't be
that.
able to touch a piece of property over here.
Mm-hmm. Right. And
So I encourage folks, I say, if you own anything over on this side, you need to hang on to it, whatever.
right, right,
Don't sell up. And I know you're getting a pretty penny, you think now, but just think what is going to escalate to, as
right,
they continue to build out there.
right. And
Yeah,
it's amazing that, there's so much going on. Sometimes I feel like there's things that are bombarding us. It's so much one thing on top of the other that it's
it
hard
is.
for the community to keep up with what's really going on where.
Yeah, it is. It is. And that was another reason I thought, we really need to have a platform where people can gather and hear what's going on, voice their opinions about things. And that's what I said, let your voices be heard.
Right,
Silence doesn't do anything for anyone. It brings on mental health, it brings on stress and all kinds that we're dealing with now.
right.
So we need to be able to speak up and speak out. And these are your tax dollars, as I
Yeah.
tell folks. These are our tax dollars,
Mm-hmm.
and we have a say so on how those tax dollars are being spent,
Right.
particularly when we're paying the price of high taxes and we're being taxed on everything.
Everything.
And and the service is not getting any better.
Right. Right. I
Yeah.
Yes. So I want you to tell everybody once again about the August 10th event and when your next meeting is going to be at the police station.
My August 10th event is the Health Wellness Back to School Backpack Giveaway event. It's free to all to come. Prizes, entertainment. We have a kids zone. I forgot to mention that specifically for our kids to come, where parents are going around looking at resources and finding out what's going on in the community. We have at least 30 vendors
It's good.
that's at this event. Um, and I just got an update because, and when we're talking about health, our children, families who have children with disabilities and autism, that's another subject. A lot of folks don't know anything about it. Children get misdiagnosed with
Yes,
autism,
yes, they
and
do.
then all they do is put them on medication. I've been pushing for this for a long time, working with Rocky Mountain Human Services. So the Autism Society said that they will be at the event, and that's critical because I know for a fact the numbers of autistic children in our community has grown across the ethnic and racial lines. And
Right.
it's hard for parents to know what to do. They take their children to doctors and sometimes they're misdiagnosed. Early intervention is the key to that. And I can speak personally to that because my grandson, who passed away a couple of years ago, James Mason Goodson, he was autistic. James was diagnosed at the age of 7. And
Hmm.
I tell you, trying to get services for him, fighting the system, dealing with Denver public schools, and yet it was a nightmare.
Wow.
But as I told you, I'm one. I don't give up, especially when it comes to my children and our family. I'll fight you to the end to get what I need for them.
Right, right,
So
exactly.
he was diagnosed, and we were able to get towards James actually graduated from Montbello High School.
Okay.
And he actually graduated with honors at Montbello High School, and
See?
that was based on the fact that we pushed for integration for him in school,
Mm-hmm.
classes for him to learn. We got technology where we needed it and everything. And he was very smart. He was very, very smart. Um, Unfortunately, he did have some health issues, and again, we had to take him outside all the way over in Aurora to find specialists for him and everything. And that's the reason my heart goes out to families who have family members or children with disabilities. And that's why I push and fight so hard for health equity out here in our community. I
Mm-hmm.
fight hard for our children to be able to go to school and get their needs met in school and education, because under ADA, America's Disability Act, it says every child is entitled to an education, not just any education, but the best education.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to walk in meetings, and the book was like this. I carried it under my arm, and I would slap it down on the table, and I let
Mm-hmm.
them know, "You're gonna deal with me today,"
Right,
you know,
right, right,
because
right,
he's my child. This is my grandson.
right. Because they don't expect you to have that information that you had.
No, they don't. No,
Mhm.
they don't. And so I still find parents who have, and I always give them the information and referral sources for their children so they can get, their kids diagnosed. I have two great grandkids, and the two of them, they're autistic. But my family knows, and they have it down. So my granddaughter, she knows how to advocate, and if she don't know how, she knows who to come and get great grandma. So
That's right. That's right. Come and get. Hey, come
we
get Miss
keep
Ann.
we keep it going. So, but I'm saying that to say, at our event, if there are families out there, or if you know someone, have them come and get the information on autism and how to deal with the system. There are many resources. I was trying to get them to bring the sensory band,
Mm,
because autistic
right.
children, they do a lot of things with their hand and sensory, and a lot of noises, affect
Right.
them. And
Right.
so I'm still working on that. I'm trying to get an agency to pay for them to be able to bring that sensory band, because I
Mm,
think it's very important for parents to see what's available in the technology that has advanced since my grandson was diagnosed years ago. So
mm-hmm.
everything covering mental health, we have people that can talk to you about mental health and everything. It's just a lot of services, and I just hope people will come, enjoy themselves, the food. We have our master griller who's been grilling for this event for me for 8 years, Mr. Scott Gilmore. We call him the grill master.
Scotty is grilling.
Yes, he is. He's always grilled for me for my event.
Oh, that is
And
wonderful.
it's a special thing he does with burgers. Everybody's got them. Boy, these are the best burgers and everything. So the food and everything, and we have some new sponsors, and thank God for it. And I'll just give a shout out to a lot of our sponsors that are going to be there. There are some new ones this year, and they came forth big time. And
That's
so our
good.
event is going to happen. I was a little worried at first because the donations were and sponsorships were not coming in, but the praise gives God that they started coming in. And so last year we gave out almost 2,000 backpacks. This year I set the goal at 2,500, and I do believe we're going to meet that goal, because I just got another delivery, and I'm getting ready to place another um, uh, thing so that I can get some additional ones for backpacks. We won't. I know there will never be enough to supply our community for the need, but at least we can put a dent in it.
Yes.
Especially those families that are really in need for school supplies. Everything is so expensive, I tell you. What I paid for backpacks 3 years ago, and what I'm paying for them now, if I
Mhm.
had bought them back then, I would have had enough Harvard backpacks to last me for 3 years. But, you know,
Right. And I'm glad that people are donating and they understand how important it is for the kids to have school supplies. And I know that we have the Dollar Tree and everything, and we have the Family Dollars. But if you have more than one kid, there's a lot of families that have 4 and 5 kids, and it becomes very expensive to get
Yes.
backpacks and supplies for everyone.
And I tell you, for the list that they give parents at school anymore
Hmm.
for school supplies, it's ridiculous, and the cost and everything. And it was interesting today. I was listening to someone and they asked a question: why, when people are trying to help the community and get backpacks and school supply, why is it so expensive? You know, they were
Hmm.
asking the question. They said, you're really not helping the economy, and families and children who need have for school supplies to go back to school. And I thought that was very interesting. And they were saying, you're using the same kind of materials, you know what this is, and you know what, so why is it so expensive? And it truly is expensive. But
Hmm.
um when determined, I look for bargains, and I don't believe in cheap stuff,
Hmm.
but well, good backpacks, but I also want what I put in the backpack to be substantial. When you pick it up, I want you to know you picked up a backpack with something in it, you
Right.
know, and
Right.
that's one of the goals that I have
Hmm.
with Front Over 2020 and this event and everything. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who has contributed, those young folks that came today and volunteered, and yesterday too, they came. And I mean, they could have spent their time doing something else, but they came and they volunteered, and we got a lot done.
Good.
They have packed the trailer and everything, so it was great.
That's good. And I know that I have been spreading the word because I know a lot of people that when I was in the store, I was hearing people say, "Oh gosh, we got to get school supplies," and so I'm like, "Listen, go to this event so you can get school supplies," because I could just see the stress on the mother's face.
Oh yes, yes.
Mhm.
Yes, very
Yep,
stressful. I've been there, did that, done that, and
me too.
uh, with
Still
my
do.
children when they were growing up, and I was blessed that my husband worked and I worked, but even with that, when as you say, you have more than 2 or 3 kids,
Hmm.
school supplies, plus we haven't even talked about the clothes,
Right,
you
right.
and everything. So for me, the need was there, and the health inequity was there. So I thought, why not bring these two together
Hmm.
and, one event and help families out? I just see doing that. And I will just say that we outgrew it, grew so fast when we once got started. I started out at the rec center. We outgrew the rec center.
Hmm.
um, the manager at Walmart at the time said to me, he said, "We know we got that big parking lot. You can use it." I did it at Walmart for 3 years. The last year, that was during the COVID. And I tell you, they had to call in extra police patrol and car and traffic people because the line stretched from Chambers Road all the way around through the neighborhood and back up in the Walmart parking lot. That's just how. And I said, "Oh my God, I cannot do it here anymore. These people in this community are going to track me down and say, 'What's
Hmm.
wrong with you?'" But they
Right.
were time. But then I was at a meeting, and God being in the plan, the executive director for Lincoln Tech was there. And we got to talking, and it was funny because she knew who I was, but I didn't know who she was.
Hmm.
Someone had pointed me out to her, and she came over to me and she said, "I hear that you do an event." I said, "Yes." She said, "And I understand that Denver police were sweating bullets at your event because they were trying to move the traffic." She said, "So what are you going to?" I said, "I don't even know if I'm going to be able to have it next year." I said, "Because there's no place in Montbello that can accommodate.
Right.
She said,
Right.
"Well, what about coming bringing it to Lincoln Tech?" And
Oh,
that's
that.
all. to hear her say, she said, we have that huge parking lot there.
That's
I said,
blessed.
I haven't even seen it, and I'm just going to say yes.
Right.
And
That's a
so we've been
blessing.
ever since.
Mm-hmm. That's a
Yeah,
blessing. And
yeah,
I'm
it is.
so glad that, I was able to get you on and interview you so you could tell the community all of the resources and information that Montbello 2020 and White have available to the Montbello area. And if you are afraid to speak up for yourself, you can talk to Ann because she will speak up for everybody. And if you don't mind giving them Montbello 2020's information so they will know how to keep it in touch with you, how to keep track of
We have
what's
a
coming up.
website. It is Montbello 2020, RNO, .org. And then we also have a Facebook page, and it's we're still working on the Facebook page, trying to update it. And if there's anyone out there would like to donate on our website, and it's not RNO, it's montbello2020.org. We have a donate button on there if you want to donate. I mean, the event is coming up, but we're going to start preparing for next year. So if you would like to donate, you can start now. And,
Yeah.
I guarantee you all the resources and the funds that come in, they are spent on this event because we try to make it better each year. And
Right.
getting back to the kids zone, we're going to have the rock climbing wall there for the kids this year, backyard casting. We're going to have games and just fun for the kids to be able to come and be kids, safe things for children to do. So even if you have a child that has a disability, please bring them. We have sustained farms. They're going to be there showing kids how to plant seeds and get their hand in the dirt. Environmental learning for kids is going to
Hmm,
be there.
that's good.
Parks and Rec is going to come. We're going to have just all kinds of things. And like I say, giveaways for our kids, things to keep their minds active and where they can play and have fun and be kids. So
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
something for everyone, something for everyone. That's always been my goal.
Yes. So everybody, make sure you support and come out August 10th. And I also want to let everybody know that Black Pearl Entertainment is having a fashion show in the Montbello area on August the 24th. We will be at the Embassy Suites Hotel, 4444 Havana Street, which is I-70 in Chambers. And then we are also hosting One Montbello, which will be in September. So if you guys want to get a vendor space, email me at blackpearlent, the number 8 at gmail.com. And I want to thank you, Miss Ann, for getting on with me and letting everybody know what's going on. And you guys make sure you donate. And can you repeat your email if they want to email as well as the website?
Okay, it's Ann Lady White, one word, the number 76 at gmail.com. The website is montbello2020.org, and it's the number 2020.org.
You guys. So make sure you write that down. Now, I've been looking over to see if anybody had any questions that has been watching the interview, and no questions, but there's people watching. And the way it's set up is it's on my Facebook, and it'll play over and over again, and it will
Okay.
also play on my YouTube channel as well as my Instagram page. You guys can follow me on Instagram at BPE Denver, and it's at BPE Denver. Thank you guys, and thank you, Miss Ann, for getting on with me this evening.
And thank you for having me. It's just been fun. This is like I would say, a rehearsal for when you come to my event.
Right. And I was looking at the agenda today and I thought this is some different type of entertainment. That is so good. Like it's people that you don't normally see at other events and all over it all the time. It's
Mhm.
really a pleasant surprise to me to see some different things. I'm like, wow. So I'm thumbs up on the entertainment.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you again.
Thank you. I'll talk to you soon. Over and
Okay.
out, guys.
All righty.